I want to quickly talk to you about Webex meetings, and this will be a review of the service. And the big question is, should you actually spend any penny on Webex meetings this year? Let's quickly have a conversation about that. So let me first, before I do anything, I want to give you a synopsis of Webex meetings. I want to explain to you what it really is. So if you think about Webex meetings, I want you to think about a Cisco product. Everybody knows Cisco. Cisco has been around for decades. This is a pretty strong company. So Webex meetings is actually Cisco's video conferencing software. Okay. So the product came under the Cisco umbrella shortly after the company acquired Webex in 2007. So that's nearly 20 years ago. Okay. Now this tool lets businesses and their collaborators host video or audio meetings, hold sessions with up to 1,000 attendees. That's really great. Okay. Share screens, use a whiteboard, record meetings, pull attendees live using Slido. Okay. So the cool thing is that Webex meetings was very popular during COVID and after COVID because with the shifts that we have seen in business circles, a lot of companies nowadays are doing this sort of like you have a one week in the office and 1 week working from remote places. So the bottom line is when you have such a setup, having a product such as Webex meetings can be really, I would say, significant. Okay. So if you think about Webex meetings, I want you to think about security, reputation, but most importantly, scalability. So what are the pros and cons here? Well, you have a freeware version available, account not necessary to join meetings, unlimited whiteboards, closed captions for recordings, and you have real-time translations in over 100 languages. So that's really good because it tells you the international proclivity that you have with Webex meetings. On the flip side, you do have very few emojis or reactions. International calling options are notably more expensive, and also pricing is somewhat higher than popular competitors such as Google Voice or Zoom. So something to really think about. So if you think about Webex meetings, what happens here is that you have, I think I've said this before, you have scalability and reputation, but how does it really work? Let's talk about that. So I think I've already told you that as Webex meetings is part of Cisco's cloud-based communication service, you would generally need an appropriately reliable internet connection to launch or join a meeting, right? Without internet, you can't use Webex meetings. And the exception comes if you buy the paid add-on that lets you participate by phone or provide a phone number that attendees can use to dialing to a session, okay? And during meetings, you can select options to record meetings, share screens, engage through emojis, and more. So that's really cool. And so that's the level of simplicity that Webex meetings does have, okay? So Webex meetings remains actually a reliable video meeting platform that works well for businesses of all sizes. So if you have a small business, you can use the Webex meetings. If you have a large enterprise, you can use the Webex meetings, not a problem, okay? But what you need to understand is that basically there are some cases where Webex meetings is good and some cases where it's not really that suitable. Let me talk to you about that. So first of all, Webex meetings is great for international calls, for teams with deaf and hearing impaired, because through closed captioning and chat features, Webex may be beneficial to groups wishing to make collaboration more accessible for those who are deaf or hard of hearing, okay? And also, Webex meetings could be great for you if you are on a tight budget. So this is something to really keep in mind. So that's really good, okay? So the cool thing is that you have, within Webex meetings, you have features that could make it work well for specific groups, such as internationally operating companies or non-English speakers. So if you are seeking an inclusive collaboration solution, Webex meetings could be a great choice. Now, I do not recommend Webex meetings for you if you are new to video conferencing or if you're looking for group engagement tools, because it has very few emojis and its virtual backgrounds leave much to be desired, okay? So that's something to really think about. So if you are already comfortable with video meetings, Cisco WebEx is actually an ideal platform. However, if you are very new to video conferencing, you could experience a learning curve because the user friendliness is not really where it should be at. Okay, so something to really think about. But overall, basically, when you think about WebEx meetings, I want you to think about the scalability, but also the security. Let me talk to you about the features here. So we are having a review of WebEx meetings. And so what are the features you should be paying attention to? So basically, one thing you need to understand here is that WebEx meetings provides many necessary features for getting the most out of your call sessions, okay? Whether you have in a small group or you have in a large group. Like I told you a little earlier, you have up to 1,000 participants that could actually be comfortable during a meeting, okay? So what about the hardware first? So Cisco provides a range of hardware for communications, including headsets, cameras, and phones. It also provides equipment that works best when paired with WebEx meetings, okay? And such items include its desk series, which is desk-based and on-the-go displays that make it easier to collaborate in the office or while working remotely. So that's kind of cool. The only thing is desk series are not really cheap. I mean, desk series of hardware starts at about $2,000, okay? So this is something to really think about. Now, Cisco also offers smart boards and room kits, making it easier for entire teams to engage with partners or peers located elsewhere. So that's for the hardware side of things. You also have software. So basically, WebEx meeting software is available for download to a desktop or laptop computers and iOS and Android devices. Now, for non-compatible operating systems such as Linux or Chrome OS, you can start a meeting through the web app. So that's kind of cool, okay? Now, one thing I need to really I want to specify here is that WebEx meetings works for video conferencing, or when cameras are not available, it is a substitute for voice calling. So that's kind of cool. In terms of the ability to record meetings, you are able to hold up to a 10 gigabyte of recorded data in the cloud with storage provisioned to each user among shared team sites. Security-wide, no problem. I mean, this is a Cisco product, so security is pretty tight, okay? And you also have third-party integrations galore, so that's really good. And you also have video and audio call quality, also pretty strong, okay? So this is fantastic. So let's talk about the cost here. So I want you to see on the screen here, I'm going to show you so you can see as of the date of this show, what the WebEx meetings actually cost, okay? So you have, it's showing here $144 per user per year, which is actually $12 per user per month, okay? This is pretty affordable. That's why I told you a little earlier that you can actually get it, even if you are, let's say, if you are in, let's say, an individual, okay? But I wanted to show you another table on the screen real fast. So that's the second table. So you can see that you have WebEx Free, you have WebEx Meet, or WebEx Meet or WebEx Meetings, mean the same thing. You also have WebEx Suite, and you have WebEx Enterprise. WebEx Enterprise is for large companies, okay? So you got to really ask yourself what your needs are. So if you are an individual, you can start with WebEx Free and take it from there. See how you like it, okay? As soon as your attendees your attendees count, actually the count of your attendees goes up, that's when you really need to upgrade. So when I say WebEx Free, you can actually host or join video conferences. Just remember that meetings are limited to 40 minutes and a maximum of 100 attendees, okay? So, but the cool thing is you have everything that you would need, okay? So you will have, for instance, interactive whiteboards, meeting recording capability to store recordings locally. Locally is kind of cool. You have the ability to move meetings from laptop to mobile. That's really good, especially if you have an agile workforce. You have an agile team. You have video pinning capability. You can have a co-host assigning. You have virtual backgrounds. emoji reactions, and raise hand tool. You have integrations with Apple car software, and you have private chat and breakout rooms. So this is really cool. So what about Webex meetings that we're talking about in today's conversation? Well, here you have a little bit more capabilities. Of course, you're paying $12 per user per month. With that, you have 24-hour long meetings, which is really good if you have like an all-day sort of meeting. Not 24 hours, but hey, listen, you never know. You have English, French, German, and Spanish closed captions for meetings. You have live polls. You have recording encryption. That's really good. You are able also to transfer files during a meeting, among other things, okay? You can add or remove users in any space, voice commands, and keywords. So you have a whole lot of options. So when it comes to WebEx meetings, you also need to understand that if you want to move up a little bit in the, how do I call it, in the pricing tiers, you can really think about the WebEx suite. The cool thing about the WebEx suite is that if you are a small business and you're trying to really increase your capabilities without being a large enterprise or a medium-sized enterprise, you can go the WebEx suite. Because with suite, you get all the features of the free and mid plans plus VoIP call-in features. And that's really good because, of course, when we speak about VoIP, we're speaking about your need to have internet, right? Because VoIP actually voice over IP. So you need internet. But the cool thing is that once you have WebEx suite within the WebEx meetings pricing tiers, you have a lot more capabilities. For instance, you have unlimited domestic and long distance calls. Can you imagine that? If you are working in an international environment, that's really good to have that. You have call numbers via the WebEx app and IP phones. That's pretty good also because you are able to save money on that front. You have call waiting. Okay, call waiting, that's really good. You have auto attendance. You have hold and transfer. That's really cool also. Hold and transfer can be pretty reliable in certain instances. You have call forwarding. You have visual voicemail. You have international calling. So international calling is really cool also. That's kind of similar to long distance, unlimited domestic and long distance calls because you're able to communicate across many geographies. So if you have a team, if your team is located in multiple locations, like within this country or even abroad, you can use WebEx Suite to streamline your communication. You have contact list, you have extensions. So in addition to these features, you also get the ability to make 6-way conference calls, helpful for meetings for a few people where hopping into a video meeting doesn't feel necessary, okay? Now, because the suite doesn't increase video and audio meeting tools but adds VoIP capabilities, it's probably best for small to medium teams that want to combine their collaboration capabilities with voice communication, so making WebEx function as an all-in-one hub. Now I want you to also think about WebEx Enterprise. So this is the fourth tier when it comes to WebEx meetings. Okay, again, we have WebEx Free, WebEx Meetings, WebEx Suite, and WebEx Enterprise. So at the enterprise level, you get everything in the lower plans, but with some notable upgrades, which include call bargain, call bargain, you have call queuing, you have group paging, and voicemail to email. So that's really good because if you have large groups and you have enterprise level team meetings and you want to focus on some productivity aspects, having voicemail to email can be really, voice to email among other things can be really good. You also have call recording. You have custom retention policies for files and messages through a ProPack, and you have dedicated customer support. Okay. So that's really good. That's the highest tier when it comes to WebEx meetings, by the way. And this tier also includes a FedRAMP authorization for government and federal bodies and contractors needing enhanced security during meetings. And the number of meeting attendees increases substantially from 200 to 1,000 participants. That's really good. There are no public prices for this plan, so you need to contact the sales team for pricing. Of course, they want you to really call them so they can really put you through a sales funnel and really see if they can qualify you as a lead. And that makes sense, okay? And this service plan is best for medium to large companies and those working in or with government agencies who would appreciate a higher security level, especially if you want to have privacy in terms of the meetings, in the meetings content. And also you have additional features. You have Call Me add-on. So this feature lets you automatically call into a meeting with no unique numbers or ID requirements. And domestic licenses cost $4 per month, and international licenses cost $35.75 monthly. And this is billed annually. You also have real-time translation. So when meeting with attendees worldwide, this option makes it easier to overcome language barriers by providing real-time meeting translations in over 100 languages. And the add-on costs $25 per month per license, billed annually, but you can test it risk-free with a 15-day trial. So that's really good. So when you think about Webex meetings, what are the rivals here? Let's quickly talk about that. When it comes to rivalry, you have the likes of GoToMeeting, you have Zoom, you have Microsoft Teams. I mean, everybody knows the last two, but GoToMeetings is pretty good too, okay? So GoToMeetings is more likely to suit individuals and small companies, while Webex is better suited to growth-oriented companies that anticipate needing meetings for hundreds of people, okay? Because GoTo actually it has, let's say, a maximum of 250 meeting attendees, okay? Even with the enterprise plan, okay? Something to really think about. What about Zoom? Well, everybody knows Zoom, okay? So Zoom is actually the better option when it comes to I would say conferencing strictly, okay? So one thing you need to understand is that if you want the ability to bring in a greater range of VoIP options, Webex is the best choice. What about Microsoft Teams? Well, if you want to include voice calls and call center support, Webex meetings is actually best. However, for strictly video conferencing, Webex Teams is actually a better, not Webex, Microsoft Teams is a better option, okay? So overall, do I actually recommend Webex meetings? Definitely yes. Definitely yes, okay? This is something to really, Webex meetings is actually cool in terms of security, scalability, and this is really cool. And also ease of use. I mean, they have really made sure that ease of use is really increased. And also the fact that you have up to 1,000 attendees on the highest tier, the highest pricing tier, is also a good thing to remember, and that's really fantastic. Okay, and one thing I want to say also is that you also have the possibility to always start with Webex free, try the service for a while and see if you like it before actually upgrading. So in closing chapter in today's conversation, I spoke to you about Webex meetings. This was a review. So I gave you the synopsis, the setup, the features, the cost, the rivals, and now the closing chapter. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.